What's up, world? This is yours truly, Loopy G, and we gotta put the global on it because we're going global with this thing. Man, I'm riding through a neighborhood right now, and I see a few houses, and one is no longer for sale, and that's mainly because it didn't sell. It's off of a main street, but it's not actually on a main street. What's preventing the properties from selling is two clubs and I think a lounge, or it's two lounges and one club at the corner of this particular street. Now, the houses that are for sale are four houses from the corner, and then on the other side is a new construction, and it's been sitting for a while, and it's three houses from the corner, right? These houses are really just sitting on the market, man, and it's mainly because of the club. Not necessarily because it's right off the main street. It's the fact that it has the clubs and the lounges. Now, what usually happens is on the nights that there is clubbing going on, all the cars that are parked alongside that street right there, you're actually blocking houses, driveways, and things like that, as well as blocking the other people that are across the street that may need to back out their driveway. Both sides are full of cars. Not only that, you have to deal with the loud talking and the loud music, because on the outside of the club there are some small parking spaces, but what they do, they have people that cook or smoke barbecue, and they have tables and chairs and stuff right there, so people actually are hanging outside, and that could get a little loud, overtalk the music from the club or the lounge. Now, that's not it. On the side of the street where all of the cars are parking, what you're seeing is break-ins week after week. You could just walk or drive down the street and look on the ground. You're just gonna see all sorts of shattered glass on the ground. And if it's not shattered glass on the ground, then you will see glass on the ground that actually have, let's say, the tent on it, and they couldn't shatter it, so they ripped the window out with the tent so they can go in the car. Yeah, man, it's crazy. So I see why people are wanting to sell, but people will have to come down to earth and be more realistic with their prices. I'm telling you, man, if I don't know nothing else, I can tell you about having those issues with not knowing the area and having someone house which is somewhat on the main street and or on a main street with heavy traffic. It will crush your deal. Believe me, I know. And I can basically give you a story of when it happened to me. And this is a crazy story. This was in the beginning of my journey, man. And me and this guy, we're still cool to this day. That's the crazy thing about it. And how we got that tight, I'm gonna tell y'all the story. The guy wanted to sell his house. He was a guy that did contracting. He would do cabinets and things like that. And his dad owned a company, and they did carpentry for hotels, apartments, and stuff like that. It wasn't necessarily housing. Now, the good thing is that he was making pretty good money. He had, personal issues going on that he had to deal with on a day-to-day basis, as well as being on the road. So, long story short, he wanted to sell a house. And I was like, you know what, man, we can be able to get it at this price right here, just based off the comp. Now, when I ran the comp, depending on what market you're in, your comps could be one set of comps on one street, and then on the next street over, they're totally different, depending on what market. What was actually going on with my scenario is that the property was on a main street, and then he was two houses from the corner of another main street. So it was like a double cross. And he was right there. And what was even more crazy is he not only was he on a double main street, he was two houses from the corner. There was a bus stop right by his house. So as soon as you back out his driveway, there's a house and then the intersection. It was so good of an area. I just knew this deal was a smoking deal. But not knowing how to comp properties and run comps, what you call comparables, we run the comps to figure out how much the properties are selling for in that current condition, and the ARV, what the property will be worth after, the repairs have been done. That's a totally different number. But the thing is, it's on a main street, so you can only run numbers for properties that sold on that street. I'm gonna say it again. If you have a property on a main street, you can only run numbers for properties that have sold on that street. That is the only way to do it. People wanted the house. It was a nice house, no foundation issues. It was a brick house, nice house, and it would have been valuable after the repairs were done. I would just hope that it wouldn't be a bus that stopped, because bus have routines, right? So bus run like in between 15 to 30 minutes. You have a bus. So man, I was trying to get them people in the house, and then once they get out the house, trying to go ahead and get them gone versus standing outside talking to them. As soon as they pull up, hey, come on, let's go in the house. They do their little walk around. They go in the house. Then once we go in the house, we talk in the house if they have any questions. I really did no talking outside because it just wouldn't have done no good. I'm just happy that everything went cool with the guy. He wasn't upset that I couldn't sell the house, and him and I got real cool. And the reason why we got really cool, so he would be out of town a few days out the week, maybe a week and a half or so. Then he'll come back for a few days. He had like an anaconda, a yellowback anaconda, and it used to get out the cage. He had tarantulas in the closet that he used to feed crickets. He had a cockatoo, and if you don't know what a cockatoo is, that's a parrot. And how him and I got cool is because our name is the same name. No, his name is not Loopy, our real name. And my dad actually had a cockatoo as well, so he had the similar bird as well. And I built some rapport just off the strength of that. I had to go over there, feed this bird, check on the tarantulas and the snake. Sometimes you go in the house, the snake will not be in the fish tank. Oh my goodness, that was a big ass snake. But yeah, man, the things you do to try to sell these houses, man. Yeah, man. I doubt if there's any realtors out there that could, have a story like that. I'm pretty sure you may have a few that really went above and beyond to satisfy a customer's needs. Man, yeah, going to feed birds and, checking on the tarantulas, and oh my goodness, he had like 3 different species of tarantulas. You know what I'm saying? Man, that's like a whole nother story. But him and I are still cool to this day. Matter of fact, I need to call my boy. But yeah, man, that was the quick nugget for the day. I just want to drop this video and tell you all, the importance of understanding your area and knowing your properties when you're on main streets, or if you're right off the side of a main street. You have to understand you have to be aware of the surroundings and what's going on in the area. That way you're not wasting your time with a property and getting a property under contract for too much, because that tends to happen a lot, man. It happens to the best of us, and you can either renegotiate and get a price reduction, which is what we call a price drop, or they just may not be interested or just not be that motivated to let it go. So that's the only thing I can tell you. But yeah, I'm out of here, man. Peace.